penis. No shot. It only took me using it for a full year until this word actually came in handy. What? E. Ekin. Yeah, let's go, baby. No one's even here to see it, but I did it. Fuck 'em. I did that shit. Wordle in 3. Let's fucking go. Oh, let's fucking go, baby. I need your help. What's the perfect age to be a widow? I say late. I need your help. Oh, I see. What is the perfect age to be a widow? I say late 30s, early 40s because you're still young enough and hottish, but still have your shit together. Also, hi. Hi, Bullseye. Listen, I think no one obviously should lose their partner, but if God forbid it has to happen, I would rather it happen as young as possible. Because I feel like even late 30s, early 40s, statistically, you probably have kids. You've spent like a decade or 2 decades with that person. Like your whole life is like around them, right? So I feel like if it's gonna happen, I would rather have it happen as early or as young as possible. Because it's gonna be devastating anytime, but like the younger you are, the less time you've spent together, the more you have the ability to eventually get over it and find someone else. I don't know. Chris, Luvian, how's it going, guys? I got Wordle in 3. Go back like 2 minutes. I got Wordle in 3. Let's fucking go. The penis finally was a good starting word. It finally worked after a full year of me using it. Star, stripes, the stars and stripes of the US flag. No. Steak, money. How's it going, man? How you doing? Steak, mirror, garlic. I'm thinking like things to do with vampires. You can stake them. Garlic like hurts them or whatever. I think if you use a mirror, you can see their true face or some bullshit. Any of this making any sense to anyone? Am I making this up? Wine? That's fucking wrong. Interest, concern. Okay, this interests me. I have a concern in this. It crossed my mind. I have a stake in this. Shit. Oh, this. Okay. I have a stake in this. I have an interest in this. I have a concern about this. I have a share of this. Why do you guys hate YouTube? Why? I love this place. YouTube is probably the social media I consume most. A crescent. Crescent? Star? Trousers? What? Crescent Star, Cider. Okay, this is a mirror. This is a double. This is a clone. This is a cross. Shit. Okay, what else makes sense? What else makes sense? Okay, someone's got to see it, right? Someone's got to see something. A clone, a mirror, a double. Their suppression effect hit me hard. I know. I didn't see you until like way later, money. Last stream. For one, it always like me out when I'm randomly watching a video on mobile. Really? I don't know. I don't have those issues. But in fairness, I also do pay them a monthly fee, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe they like me. I just gotta see something, right? A stripe, a crescent, garlic, star. More than point, bro. It was 3 chapters. Kami, bro. Come on. You're asking too much, man. Come on. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not quite as captivated as I was. I'm not quite as captivated as I was in Lord of the Mysteries at this point, so I'm not quite as locked in. I'm not gonna lie. It's a decent story, but it's. Trousers ringer star. This is the slowest part of the book. Oh, is it? This is the weakest of the bunch? Oh, okay, okay. Well, you know what? That is good to hear, because, like, I've kind of been having, like, a bit of a slog reading through this. It's not horrible, mind you, but it's a little slow. So it's good to know that I'm not wrong to feel like this. Okay, that's good. Cress. I fucking hate this. We're going to Lexicon. This is cringe. Fuck this. Homeless. Home. Ratio. Part. Ratio. What part are we in again? Bullseye. Lumine is trying to become a head of the Savoy mob. Or a leader of the Savoy mob, rather. Oh, Angel also appeared. This is also true. It's peak. The guy was getting freaky with a ghost. Eh? Eh? Homeless, home. Home. Statistic? Math? Ratio, math, statistic? Statistic. So, statistic, home. Home, statistic. Fractional. Income? Monies? Money! I am green with envy right now. You know who I'm envious of? Everyone who's not sick. You bitches. Fuck you guys. Taking all my fucking health. Y'all staying healthy, I'm getting sick. Fuck you. That's what I say. How's that? I said it, damn it. No one else will say it. I'll say it. Fuck you guys. Still some time till my art is relevant. Oh, cool. Good to know. By the binding vow you made? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I made you a promise, and by golly, I keep my promises. Even if I don't want to. How do you know that we just aren't just as sick? Let's go! I just destroyed him! Let's go! Let's fucking go! You're an idiot! I'm the greatest! Let's go! Dude, everyone who doubted me, shove it! That guy's a fucking idiot. He just didn't see my bishop, but all the same, let's go. We're taking those! Alright guys, that was a lot of reading today. I'm yawning. I'm clearly quite tired. Let's end it here. The fuck is Jenna? Oh, as you see that the guy who captured the president of Venezuela played Chief Key for their way. Stop! No, Bullseye, you're lying. Give me your source on that. No shot. The go? Hold on. I was so against that until you told me. Dude, they're pulling up playing Chief Keef, running into this man's mansion in the middle of the night? Holy shit, that guy's my go. He's my hero. You're lying. Give me your source. I don't believe you. No, stop. I mean, technically I'm against it, play. Like, the guy's Maduro's a bad guy. He's a dictator. Blah, blah, blah. No problem. It's not the US's place to be doing that. If the Venezuelan people have a problem with their dictator, they need to overthrow him. Because we've seen this play out 20 years ago. It's not like because they, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a press sorry, I know not everyone's into politics. I'm gonna get off this in just a second, but there was, so the Venezuelan government had a election a little while back, and there was a lady who won. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she won. And Maduro, who's currently in power, well, was until he got fucking kidnapped, refused to give up power and did another re-election that was real and won like 98% of the votes or whatever, right? And so in the press conference after Maduro was taken, they asked like, hey, like, are you going to put that lady who won the election in charge? And he said, and Trump said, oh, well, you know, she's a very nice lady, but she's not very powerful. You know, I don't think she's the right person for it. Motherfucker, who are you to decide that? That is not your place. This is my problem. When the US overthrows, just because you can militarily overthrow a government doesn't mean the next part of actually taking the government and handing it off to someone who can actually control it and take care of their people. That's the hard part. And every time that the US does this, the government, the fucking country ends up in a shittier place, not better. I know Maduro's a bad person, no questions about it. But this is not the way to go about doing it. We've seen this in Iraq? Iran? I don't know. I always get those two confused. I apologize. But like, we've seen this play out. It doesn't work. It's not the US's place to be doing that. But didn't the lady literally dedicate her, well, yes, the reason she did that was because Trump was foaming at the mouth for his Nobel Peace Prize, and she got it instead. And there's like a legitimate argument to be made where he's not going to put her in charge because she took away his Nobel Peace Prize. That's because he's a fucking child. Yeah, that's not okay, dude. Okay. The circumstances of Wilson's rapid recovery were riddled with uncertainty. Lumion toyed with the idea that it was the work of a Sequence 8 doctor of the plantar pathway or Sequence 9 apothecary. I can see an argument, but it's morally neutral. I understand why you're saying it's morally neutral, that in theory, even if it may go bad in the future, but it's worth it at least right now to get a literal dictator out of the position of power. I understand the argument, I do. But the problem is it's not going to theoretically be bad. It is going to be bad. The US is not doing this because, oh, well, there's a dictator, we don't like that. No, they're doing it because, hey, we have an excuse and we're gonna go fucking take their oil, bro. Like a week ago, they asked, I think in one day, the US government took over 1.3, confiscated 1.3 million barrels of oil. In a day. No, I don't, what the fuck is a barrel of oil worth? I don't fucking know. What? Are we back? I think we're back. Hold on. Someone confirm or deny. I think we're back. I think we're back. Yeah. Sorry about that. My PC literally just crashed. It just said like we ran into an issue and it needs to restart. Like Windows just crashed. Oh, for fuck. Hold on. Am I muted? Am I crazy? No, not muted for me. Because of what you were saying. Yeah, I think, yeah, I was shitting on Trump too hard. The fucking US government shut me down. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, back to it. What is the price of a barrel of oil today? A barrel of oil is worth $60. 60. I think it's just you, Bullseye. $60, and in one day they took 1.3 million barrels. They took $78 million worth of oil that day. Yeah, they ain't doing it because the people of Venezuela deserve a better leader. Trump don't give a fuck, okay? May have to refresh. Oh, stream. Bullseye. Okay. Yeah, you're good. Hold on. Sorry guys, give me 2 seconds. I just need to get everything up and running. I need to get the book up and running too. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just fuck's sakes. Oh my god. That's okay. Sorry, literally everything happened at the same fucking time. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We're back. Okay. Yeah, I've never had that happen before. I'm really sorry. I open up a new tab to search something up, or to search up the price of a barrel of oil, and it goes, "We run into an issue. Your computer will now restart." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And the bit just turned off. It only took like a second to start back up, mind you, but like still crazy shit. What the fuck was even that? Do you take daily now? If not, I have to watch the whole Trump thing to confirm. What is... hold on. I've never heard of it. Daily Nowd. Oh, that's is it an Instagram? Just, yeah, send me whatever your sources, Bullseye. I'll fact check it later. It's fine. Just send me whatever your sources. That's fine. That's so jokes, dude. She was Plague, shut the fuck up. Plague is a Trump stan confirmed. Hold on. The circumstances of Wilson's rapid recovery were riddled with uncertainty. Lumion toyed with the idea that it was the work of a Sequence 8 doctor from the plantar pathway, or a Sequence 9 apothecary from its namesake pathway. Yet his heart clung to the hope of unmasking Madame Polly and her subordinates. He had placed together the puzzle sooner. Had he pieced together the puzzle sooner? Tinub, how's it going, man? How you doing? Yeah, the U.S. government might be onto me. Actually, it's over. The CIA actually poisoned my Coke. I'm gonna die on stream. Had he pieced together the puzzle sooner, and had Wilson and his crew not gotten far off into the distance, Lumion would have thrown himself into the moving public carriage, hot on their trail. He envisioned wrangling Wilson into some clandestine quarry cave and pressing him for answers about his miraculous recuperation. If this saga bore no link to the evil god that Madame Polly revered, Lumion was prepared to swallow his pride and apologize to Wilson, who in turn would owe Lumion his life for not permanently silencing him. But to snuff him out was also on the table. The ball was in Lumion's court. As his carriage came to a halt at its station, Lumion was the first to alight, retracing his steps to the alley where Wilson and his crew had disappeared. No barricades existed there. It was a bustling place with people constantly coming and going. Wilson and his gang hadn't left any clear trail. Lumion devoted a painstaking quarter of an hour trying to discern any signs of them, finally admitting defeat. But he wasn't beaten down. Wilson may have slipped through his fingers, but there were others like Will or Williamson. The Poison Spur mob was a hydra of sorts, with a plethora of leaders just a notch above Wilson. Each had their own turf and their own dealings. They could run, but they couldn't hide. Lumion needed patience. Sooner or later, he'd cross paths with one or two of them, and they'd undoubtedly be more intimately involved with the shadowy forces pulling the strings behind the mob than Wilson. Exhaling a deep breath, Lumion wrestled his impatience into submission, deciding to lay low and wait for a while. If the Poison Spur mob truly were intertwined with the evil god that Madame Polly worshipped, then the leaders on par with Margot were either Sequence 8s endowed with characteristics, or were the spawn of an evil god, gifted with boons akin to a Sequence 8. They could be even stronger. If Lumion didn't arm himself well, he was likely to end up losing. I can't forget, I'm a hunter, just because I've become a provoker. Chiding himself, I actually don't know what chiding means. Chiding, full of rebuke, critical. Chiding himself, Lumian slipped down Avenue de Marche and strolled into the Salle de Brie. It was barely past 3 in the afternoon. The place was practically deserted. No music played and no one danced. His eyes found Louis immediately, the thug. Soda? Lumian grinned, sauntering over. How about drinking something an adult would drink? Louis swiveled, meeting Ciel's amiable smile. The sight left him stunned, as if he couldn't quite place the young man before him. Was this the same Ciel who masked his ruthlessness behind a constant grin? And would resort to violence over the slightest thing? He seemed more like a greenhorn. He seemed more like a greenhorn. A country boy who'd just been roped into the Savoy mob? Louis gave his soda a wistful swirl, a bitter smile tugging at his lips. I've got to be at the Baron's side later. I can't afford to get sloshed. Still nursing that bump? How long has it been? Lumian's eyes flicked to the bruised knot on Louis' forehead. I ran into Wilson earlier. I think there's something behind you. Are you making a joke about the devil, or? There's a fucking green screen behind me. There's literally nothing can enter there. Unless there's a fucking spider or something. If there's a spider, do not let me know. I will shit my pants on stream. But the letters? Oh, the letters. I see. The letters are actually part of the background. You can see it. I can do this to cover them up. Louis was taken aback. Wait, I ran into Wilson earlier, and I broke his arm and tossed him from the 4th floor. You'd think he'd be worse for wear, but he looked perfectly fine. Louis was taken aback. Seems so, at least on the surface. Wanted to say hello. But he highlighted it, but he hightailed it out of there too fast, Lumian smiled. Say hello? More like you wanted to rough up Wilson again and not even give the guy a chance to heal, Lumian thought. His face took on a grave cast as he muttered. When we clashed with the Poison Spur mob in the past, their wounded always bounce back in just a few days. The Baron thinks they've got some Beyonders with a knack for healing. Could it be because you guys have never managed to put a serious dent in any of the Poison Spur mob, Lumian thought? Or Lumian said. Louis pondered and said, and then conceded, there have been a few, but not many. Plus, we don't usually see them again for a good long while. By then, they're all healed up. So Wilson's recovery outpaces even the doctor and apothecary Beyonders, Lumian thought. Although it could point to a higher sequence Beyonder, it also narrowed down the possibilities. Just as Lumian was gearing up to probe the progress on gathering concoction ingredients, a stunning figure swept into the room. A woman ostentatiously attired, with her chestnut hair tied up, loose tendrils framing her ears, cheeks, and falling down her back. Her face was dusted with powder, black eyeliner accentuating her eyes, lending them a deep blue decadent allure. At present, she was decked out in a bold red dress that left little to the imagination, sequins catching the light at a strategic spot. Isn't this the chanteuse known for the bawdy songs at the Poison Spur mob's Salle? Lumian thought. This was the Savoy mob's Salle de Brie. Chief Keef rumors are not true, but they did put him in a Nike tech. I did see the Nike tech, but oh man, I so wished the Chief Keef thing was real. That would be the most goated shit in the universe. Maybe they have a reader. True. Lumian couldn't be entirely sure if it was the same woman. The singer had a mole by her lips, while this woman sported one at the corner of her left eye. Chanteuse is a female singer? Makes sense. Chanter is the verb to sing, so tracks. Thank you. Catching your eye, is she that little minx? Louis followed Lumian's gaze. Lumian chuckled. How about we use a more respectful moniker? Manners matter. You sound like the Baron sometime, Louis mused. Her stage name is Little Minx. Little Minx Jenna, known as a showy diva. But what the hell is a showy diva? Illumi didn't attempt to cover up his ignorance. It's all about her performance style, Louis said. Her acting, her flamboyant outfits. She's an outstanding singer. She's a chanteuse, too? Lumion probed. She performs at the Salle de Gristmill as well? Sure does. As long as she's getting paid, she'll belt out tunes in any dance hall in Rue Anarchy. Little minx Jenna sauntered over. Her blue eyes roamed the room. 10 songs, 4 Verl d'Or. I'll keep a third of the tips thrown on stage. Deal, Louis said. Only 4 Verl d'Or for the night performance? Lumion found himself questioning. Had he overpaid Asta? In unfamiliar territory, he was woefully out of touch with the going rates. Feel free to let your eyes wander a bit lower. Jenna swiveled her head, flashing a grin. She was referencing her chest. Jesus Christ, whoa. Hey, Bullseye, we don't use that word. Whoa, that's very mean, bro. Okay, Kami, that's also mean. I apologize, I did not mean to laugh. Bullseye, that wasn't funny at all. For Lumion, whose only exposure to such scenario was through novels, this was uncharted territory. Yet his face betrayed no unease. He smiled. I was merely wondering. The last time I saw you, your mole was by your lips. Now it's by your eye. Jenna's reply came in the form of a captivating smile. Are you from out of town? Jenna queried. Lumion bobbed his head up and down in affirmation. In a playful grin, Jenna leaned in, her finger tracing her cheek as she elucidated. It's all the rage here in Trier. Ladies often sport a faux mole. Right in the middle of the cheeks for elegance, in the middle of the nose for audacity, at the corner of the eye for passion, and by the lips for allure. Today I'm all about passion. Ah, Trier. Lumion could only shake his head in amazement. Given their proximity, the intoxicating blend of Jenna's natural scent and perfume invaded his senses. This led Lumion to instinctively rub his nose. Jenna's reaction was immediate. Don't tell me you're still a virgin. I'm not a street girl, but for you, I'll make an except. I gotta stop reading this. This is... Dude, if... Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm just imagining when this is gonna be a long time, but when Dara has to read this, I feel so bad for her. Holy shit. This is gonna be a long time. I don't know if she'll ever even make it this far, but oh, I'm gonna feel so bad when she has to read this. Oh, this is so mean for a girl to have to read. Oh, this is disgusting. Jesus Christ. There's no coming back from that. Oh, that's so bad. She took a moment to appraise Lumion, seemingly pleased with what she saw. Kami, you might have to, bro. We might have to go emote only the whole time. I don't even know if emote only would be okay at this point. Holy crap baskets. Virgin? Something that magically returns every morning at 6? Lumion scoffed inwardly. Right now, I'm afraid you might miss your performance tonight. Back at the old tavern in Cordoue, Lumion often had to match the locals in their coarseness, else he'd become the butt of their jokes. Jenna's response was a hearty laugh and a dismissal. I'll find you after my set tonight. Yeah, actually, Kami, I'm just like this is gonna be so bad for a girl to have to read. Holy shit. With that, she sauntered over towards the modest wooden stage. Isn't she jumping the gun a bit? Where's the agreement on time or place, Lumion thought. He was clearly yanking his chain. Louis chimed in. Don't fall for her act. She gets a kick out of toying with good-looking men. I reckon she's Franca's sweetheart, though. Franca? Franca Red Boots? Lumion was surprised. Red Boot Franca was a key figure in the mob, ruling over Rue de Blue Blanche, and rumored to be a woman. Nah, Dara does say wild shit, but it's the stuff Kami, I say, like, okay, I don't say quite as wild as shit as she does. She's out of her fucking mind. I want to be really clear. But, like, I say some dumb stuff, too. it's one thing to say like stuff that I'm saying, because like I've thought about it. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with saying this. Like I roughly know what you guys are gonna react. It's fine, right? It's one thing to have to read a thing that's there because it's not in character, so it feels much more like pulling teeth, if that makes any... I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't use excuse me, or the only... Okay, I use the R word, which I know is a big no-no nowadays, but I still use it, damn it. I still like it. I don't use anything. I don't use any other slurs. What the fuck is your problem? Motherfucker's trying to get me cancelled. Jesus Christ, Bullseye, what the fuck? Kami! You said you wouldn't tell anyone, you bitch. God, no more for you. A lover's lover. Lumion once again marveled at the peculiarity of Trier. She wasn't this mesmerizing when we first arrived in the market district. Over the couple of years, she's become more adept at presentation, more feminine. If you manage to climb the ranks and stand toe-to-toe with Red Boots, you might even have a shot, Lumion teased, stoking Louis' ambition. Any luck tracking down those 3 items I needed? I was just about to tell you, Louis said. We managed to get them all. This quickly? Lumion was taken aback by their efficiency. Why not start a goddamn factory? Louis elaborated. Rat Christo keeps a variety of critters, some rare, some less so. Some we could take off his hands for the right price. That's how we got the lizard eye and snake venom sacked. The eagle's nest rock was a bonus. Rat Christo was the one in charge of smuggling? Lumion mulled over this newfound information. Landlord. That is... Dude, I honestly can't even tell if that's the actual quote or if he's making that up. I know what he's referencing, but I can't remember if that was the actual quote. Shit, was that the quote? That's so bad in hindsight. There's no fucking way I said that, right? That's gotta be the dumbest... Is that true? Is that what I said? Bro, that's so bad. An actual idiot. No, Kami, no clip or fake. I don't want to know if that's true, bro. Because if it's not true, it's like, oh, la-di fucking da. You didn't say the most fucking heinous shit in the universe. And if it is true, though, then I'm just fucking fucked, you know? Congratulations, buddy. You're an alcoholic. Like, Louis carried on. I'll arrange for someone to bring those 3 items to Auberge de Côte d'Or later. And the cost, Lumion asked? The Baron said you don't need to worry about it. He believes your strength building equates to our mob strengthening. Even without the Baron spelling it out, Louis deduced the ploy of roping Lumion in. So according to the Baron's logic, I can have him refund the materials I required to progress to Pyromaniac? Lumion mused with a hint of sarcasm. Dude, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but it feels like Lumion's progression, maybe because it's happening on 2 different pathways simultaneously, feels less impactful than like Klein. Because, like, every time Klein got to a new sequence, I was like, holy shit, we're a fucking Klein, we're a magician now, let's go. Lumion is like, okay, so I just became an Om Scholar. I have all the ingredients for a Pyromaniac now. I'm going to be a Pyromaniac in 2 weeks. 3 weeks after that, I'm going to be a fucking, I don't know, whatever, sequence 7 of the other one. Like, it feels so much less, I don't know, impactful? I don't know. Does that make any sense? Bullseye. Okay, hold on. Either delete that comment or say what I said, bro, because I don't know what you're referring to, but like that looks really bad. Stop. What are you doing to me? Louis was taking a sip from his pomegranate soda when a group sauntered over. The group's leader was strikingly tall, over 1.9 meters tall, his hair light yellow, short and plush. He had a high nose, light blue eyes, and a rough-textured face. He was dressed in a figure-hugging black suit, topped off with a wide-brimmed round hat. Louis' features tightened, and he carefully placed the soda bottle down, turning to Lumion and said, "I need to attend to the Baron." Just then, the beefy man in his early 30s walked a crew that had the air of gangsters around them. "Who's he?" Lumion asked. "That's Giant Simon. He runs the dance halls on Rue de Rossignol." "Isn't he part of the mob too?" Lumion asked. "True, but he's not on good terms with the Baron. He's always arguing. Since he oversees the loan sharking, he ought to relinquish control of the Salle de Brie." I don't. Well, Lumion had to fight, Klein had to fight rats in the street corners to get scraps, while Lumion got forced telling him, "Well, didn't Klein get told the three Beyonder laws by the Roselle books too? The diary too? Let's just be fair." I'm heading up. I need to see what he's here for. Louis had barely taken 2 steps when he noticed Lumion still at the bar counter. He couldn't resist a sigh. He just doesn't grasp how to seize the moment. Shouldn't he have shown some initiative and backed me up with the Baron? Simon dares say something, stare him down, threaten him. Only then will he get the Baron's trust. He may be ruthless and powerful, but he remains a greenhorn. Naturally, if Lumion truly wanted to accompany him to the 2nd floor and aid the Baron in maintaining appearances, Louis would turn him down. After all, the Baron and Simon could potentially be discussing confidential matters concerning the mob. No place for a rookie. "Zaza, how's it going, man?" Suppose there was a showdown between the Baron and Simon and one bites the dust. Then the head honcho needs a strong hand to quell the storm and take over the position. Wouldn't I be the perfect candidate? When that time comes, as long as I pass muster, I'll have fulfilled Mr. K's mission. Now the trick is to pit Baron Brignace and Giant Simon against each other without arousing suspicion. Lost in his strategic contemplation, Lumion requested a glass of absinthe. I'm good, Zaza. Still, like I'm good. I'm good. My stomach's still a little upset. Like I'm eating now, which is great. By the way, I cannot tell you, after 4 days of having nothing but Gatorade and the occasional soup, getting to eat solid food is like the most amazing feeling in the fucking universe. I had like solid food for the first time yesterday. Like I just ate a little bit because I couldn't stomach much. And today I had like a full proper meal. And so good. Holy shit. God, this is amazing. Well, Kami, you need to drink like electrolytes or something. Because like just get bullseye. No, I had an upset stomach. So I couldn't eat like solid food. So I was having soup. And then Gatorade to, keep up the electrolytes. Before he could savor the last of his enigmatic emerald elixir, he spotted Simon emerging from the staircase, henchman in tow. Well, he doesn't seem pleased, Lumion noted. He wasn't rushing to translate his thoughts into action. He was still woefully short on the ins and outs of the mob. Now, later that evening, on his return to Auberge de Côte d'Or, Madame Fels, seated at the reception desk, rose and informed him, "Monsieur Ive has arrived. He's waiting for you at the 1st floor dining room, by the window." Kami, the problem is if you're not eating and you're just drinking water, because like I wasn't really eating. Yeah, I had a little bit of soup, but like very little. The problem is you're actually like getting rid of your electrolytes even faster, because water is like soaking the electrolytes that you have up, like the salt in particular, and so you're actually losing them even faster. So it's better to have something like Gatorade. I know obviously you're kidding, but like if you're curious. Zaza, I don't know, dude. We'll see. I'm still not at 100%, so like, I don't know. We might just do like 3 or 4 chapters. I don't know. We'll just see. Not bad. He came quickly. Lumion nodded. Monsieur Ive had heard tell of Ciel's eccentric yet stylish hair. Upon seeing him step into the dining room, he rose, all smiles. Monsieur Ciel, right this way. He was a man of his on the cusp of his 50s. His blonde hair, streaked with silver, was neatly arranged. He spotted a faded dark suit with a pair of chestnut tweed trousers. His eyes were a bright blue. Lumion glanced at the cane resting against their dining table. Good evening, Monsieur Ive. Both men were seated. I've beckoned the waiter to begin serving. My apologies for the delay in visiting. I've been swamped recently, Ive said. His accent distinctly belonged to the Trier region. Feigning ignorance, Lumion asked, do you own more than one hotel? Otherwise, what kept him so busy? Ive was taken aback. He hadn't anticipated that Lumion would be so polite. There are some other affairs, but they're neither here nor there. As the conversation flowed, the waiter brought in the evening meal, serving each. This bean soup, pork sausage, faina pot of rice, and a sauce that accompanied a fifth of the plate. This is their signature meat sauce, Ive said. Is that all? Lumion's perception of the landlord miserliness took a new dimension. It didn't overly concern him, though. He dug into the food. After consuming his meal for a minute, Lumion looked up. With your penny-pinching tendencies, why provide each room with sulfur? He purposely avoided the softer term frugal. Monsieur Ives' face clouded over, displeased. But he forced a smile. The motel is riddled with bedbugs. No one would stay unless we provided sulfur. Really? As long as the price is low enough, those hard up for cash won't fuss about some bedbugs, Lumion thought. After mulling it over, he suggested, why not employ a couple of regular cleaners for daily cleaning? They could cut down on bedbugs. 2 full-time cleaners would set me back 130 through 150 Vrildor a month. I would assume it's pronounced like Trier, yeah? Are you suggesting it's pronounced like Trier? That doesn't sound right. While a thorough cleaning once a week only costs 18 Vrildor, Monsieur Ive protested. I meant, why don't you do the cleaning yourself? Get your kids to help. Monsieur Ive appeared to mull over the proposition. Sadly, we're otherwise occupied, he said. Trier? Trier. So, are you pronouncing it like I am, Kami? Approximately. I'm sure there might be slight differences. You say Trier. Okay, yeah, you do say Trier. I figured because the I does come before the E, so there's an argument to be made that it's Trier. I understand it. You're wrong, but I get the argument for sure. I didn't pay attention to how you say it in French. I had the same sound as the English. No, okay, Kami. I say Trier. Bullseye is saying it should be pronounced Trier. Again, maybe slight differences. Maybe he pronounces it a little bit differently, but approximately you get the idea. Monsieur, doing what? Lumion didn't push for an answer. Monsieur, I've studied Lumion, hesitating before saying, I used to hand Margot 20 Vrildor a week. Which day do you prefer? No need to give it to me. Invest it in additional thorough cleaning each week. Kami, why did you time him out? What did he do? Moswa Ive was somewhat surprised but raised no objections. After all, the cleaning services only cost 20 Vrildor a week, and if contracted for twice a week, he could haggle for an even better rate. Do you know what happened to the tenant from 504? He was speaking of the man who plastered Susanna Matisse's portrait in Charlie's room, a frequent face in Rue de la Muriale, who had since moved on. He said you say it the gay way. Okay. Okay, listen. Worthy of like a 5-second timeout, fair. Lumion had sought this information from Madame Fels earlier, but she'd offered no insight. As far as she was concerned, her interest in the tenants ceased as soon as they paid their rent. Moswa Ive was taken aback. I'm not sure who you mean. I don't visit the motel often. I don't know who's occupying. But I can't see. I don't say it towards a person, Bullseye. I don't say like, oh, you're being retarded. I would never say that. That's mean. But I would say like, why the fuck is this pronounced like this? That's so fucking retarded. Because like, I'm not pointing it to anyone. I'm not, there's a different, like, I do think. Oh god, what have we become? Saying a thing is and saying a person are two very different. Well, like when username spoiled easy, then refused to delete a My go username. Never back down, never what? Never back down. That response smacks of guilt. Lumion's eyebrows twitched, but he didn't push the issue. He watched as Moswa Ive tidied up his plate, not a morsel of rice or a trace of sauce left. After Moswa Ive had taken his leave, Lumion emerged from the hotel motel some 20 seconds later, tailing the landlord. He tracked Moswa Ive to a beige, 6-story apartment building. From what he'd gathered from Madame Fels's usual chit-chat, this was most likely Moswa Ive's residence. Lumion didn't rush to make a house call. There were certain activities best carried out under the cloak of night. Moreover, he wasn't entirely sure whether the official Beyonders were still probing into Susanna Matisse's affairs or hoping to find any clues through the motel owner. An accidental encounter would be rather awkward. If it came to that, Lumion would have to make himself scarce promptly. Under the warm glow of the street lamps, he circled Moswa Ive's apartment, taking in the surroundings. What struck Lumion the most was his 3-story brick-red edifice diagonally across from the apartment on the opposite side of Avenue de Marche. The foyer, propped up by the pillars, bore a sign overhead. Theatre de l'Ancien Caged Pit. Oh my fucking god, what is so crazy. No, Bullseye, you're right. There's absolutely nothing. But you used it in a negative way, not me. That's why Kami hit you with a timeout. An ideal spot for evading pursuit. Wait, no, hold on. What? People streamed in continuously. Every now and then, bursts of applause and strains of music floated out, creating a lively atmosphere. Lumion knew that this was a theater catering to common folk with its affordable price tickets. An ideal spot for evading pursuit. Lumion was reminded of the theater-related incidents from various novels. Grinning, he crossed the street and entered the foyer of the theater. Posters advertising current and upcoming plays, as well as a few past classics, adorned the walls. As Lumion considered how best to exploit the theater, he stood there, earnestly examining the photographs, sketches, and captions. Suddenly, a familiar face caught his eye on the poster tucked away in a corner. Bullseye, now you're making an argument that even you know is wrong. Come on. Dude, it's calm. Like, listen, I'm not accusing you of being homophobic. I don't think anyone is. But like the argument you're making is like a literal school is like a fucking second grader argument. Come on. Suddenly, a familiar face caught his eye on a poster tucked away. Playing an extra in the background, a man with a shock of starkly blonde hair, blue eyes, and a wisp beard was featured. None other than Monsieur Ive. Could do a music change next chapter? Sounds good. Alright. Cien. Ooh. I know, I'm just joking. Okay. That elves are the... I'm not doing that, bro. Ancient pigeon cage, by the way? Yeah, I figured that. Monsieur Ive, a theater actor, or merely an enthusiast? His immediate impression was, as a proprietor and landlord, Monsieur Ive could be classified as affluent. Moreover, he managed several other enterprises, so the notion of him dabbling in acting appeared improbable. Nevertheless, taking into account Monsieur Ive's proclivity for hoarding wealth and his frugal tendencies, Lumion couldn't rule it out. Once satisfied that the small-time character indeed was Monsieur Ive, Lumion's eyes drifted to the poster title, Forest Fairy. You should talk to Ramiro about that, Bullseye. He will have some strong feelings, certainly. The actress portraying the forest fairy boasted distinct facial contours, an ethereal and captivating aura, and lake blue eyes filled with innocence. However, Lumion found her less than bewitching. Given her adornments of bracelet, necklace, and belt fashioned from tree branches and verdant leaves, topped by the floral laurel crown, she stirred moments of Ava, the spring elf from his dreams, and Susanna Matisse. For Lumion, these were not nostalgic musings, especially the latter. Charlotte Calvino. After noting the actress's name, Lumion scrutinized the other posters for more clues. Ultimately, he deduced that Monsieur Ive had performed in 3 plays at the theatre, yet in each he was merely a supporting actor, easily replaced. Entering the theatre with a thoughtful demeanor, Lumion forked over 10 licks for a ticket. The theatre was a well-staged, well-designed edifice. A large stage dominated by the far end, illuminated by gas wall lamps, cloaked by lofty curtains and equipped with several steam-powered machines. Neat rows of seatings lined the theatre, progressively ascending like terraced staircases. Lumion took the ticket stub and located his seat. The ongoing play was Princess and the Beast. The actor's attire tended towards the liberal with a hint of risque. Watching the performance unfold, Lumion was struck with an internal gasp of awe. Could this be Trier's standard for acting? Such theatrics could only earn them keep in La Marche de Quartier de Gentlemen? What caliber of actors do the theaters in Quartier de la Maison des Opera hold? Lumion wasn't a stranger to the world of theatre. Despite Aurora's homebody tendencies, she occasionally craved the outdoor. Sometimes she would borrow a pony from Madame Polly, and would even occasionally take Lumion to Dariesh to attend plays, opera, and circus theatre, or circus performances. In comparison to the Ancien Cage Pigeon, those theatrical performances seemed akin to amateur efforts. The lead actors on the stage were spellbinding. Any one of these principal performers could easily steal the spotlight in the Dariesh Theatre. As the curtain fell, statistically, Bullseye is probably taller than you, Kami. I think the average American is like 2 inches taller than the average Frenchman. Am I making that statistic up? Maybe he was asking. Average height of man in USA. 5'9". Average height of man in France. Never mind. 5'9", 5'9". They're both the same. They're both the same. I'm 6'1", almost 6'2". So actually that means Bullseye is 5'9". Anyone who says they're 6'1" is lying. Anyone who says they're 6 foot exactly is actually 5'1". Anyone who says they're 5'11" is a king who's telling the truth. 5'11". But I'm actually saying, yeah, no, it's as the curtain fell, Lumion found himself rising to his feet, clapping his approval. He detected nothing suspicious with the actors, nor could he discern anything out of the ordinary within the theatre itself. Madame Fels had hinted that Monsieur Ive cultivated a rooftop vegetable garden as a cost-saving measure. Lumion deduced that Monsieur Ive's residence must therefore be an apartment building's top floor. After a brief scrutiny, Lumion's gaze landed on the faintest glow of the window. In keeping with Monsieur Ive's penny-pinching character, he refused to light an additional gas lamp. I am only 5'11". I'm not. It's true. How tall are you coming? Do you say? You don't have to, obviously, if you don't want to. Finding this 5'7". Okay. Finding a secluded dark corner, Lumion set haven't checked in years? You could have grown. Finding a secluded dark corner, Lumion set himself up, his focus locked onto a dimly lit window. After hours wore on, a homeless man wandered by, hoping to claim the sheltered nook as a makeshift bed for the night. However, catching sight of Lumion's shadowy figure, he shuffled elsewhere. Such encounters barely registered with Lumion anymore. Close to 11, that feeble light finally blinked out of the window. After roughly 15 minutes, Monsieur Ive, garbed in a faintly dark suit and chestnut-hued tweed trousers, materialized at the apartment door. With a cautious glance cast, clutching a carbide lamp, he made his way along the street shadowy cloak, along the underground trier entrance a stone's throw away. Can you give me levels? How would I give you levels? I don't know. Lumion bore witness as a living statue, observing the retreating illumination of Monsieur Ive's lamp until it was swallowed by darkness. Minutes later, with no signs of official beyonders tailing Monsieur Ive, Lumion rose, dusted off his attire, and crossed the street leading underground. Lumion didn't try to follow him. First and foremost, he had no source of light. His only candles were used in ritualistic magic, their scent too conspicuous. Second, he lacked knowledge about Monsieur Ive's capabilities, his motives for venturing underground, or the extent of his powers. Retracing a few steps, Lumion melted into the shadow of a nearby building's pillar, shrouding himself. A tedious wait ensued. As midnight loomed, a blue radiance of a carbide lamp punctuated the darkness. The elongated shadow of Monsieur Ive once again arrived. As he came to the bottom of the stone staircase, Lumion tugged his cap lower and stepped forward. "This is a hold-up!" The strategy behind the sudden ploy was to gauge Monsieur Ive's strength. Should the landlord be a formidable foe, Lumion suspected he would merely dismiss the mugger with lethal efficiency. In that case, Lumion would make a swift exit. If, however, Muswa Ai failed to exhibit abilities, this full robbery would quickly morph into a real kidnapping, and Lumion would then corner the landlord in a remote pocket of the underground trier, demanding answers about his secretive behavior around room 504's tenant and the nocturnal trips to the underground. Music change now? Oh, no worries. What do you want me to put on, Kami? Just something more serious? Put on Chief Keef? I wish, bro. I wish. If the homies over at YouTube didn't do me dirty like that, I would. Seemingly accepting his fate, he pulled out a worn brown jacket, worn brown leather wallet, extracting a single silver dollar valued at a Vraldor. An unexpected surge of avarice flooded Lumion at the sight of the coin. Its intricate design with a cherubic relief on the surface and radiating lines. Almost against his will, he found his right hand reaching out to snatch the coin. With a swift pivot, he spun his heels off, playing the part of a robber to perfection. He spun his heels and took off. 5 or 6 steps into his escape, a niggling thought appeared to bother Lumion. What sort of robber would flee after a single Vraldor? Why did I even take the coin? Lumion's senses reignited. Channeling his agility, he forcibly twisted his frame and stopped. He noticed Muswa Ai was also running. Dude, what a broke bitch. He literally took one coin and was like, "Tee, got away with it." I know, obviously it's some kind of power that's influencing him to be greedy and the avarice or whatever. I understand, but all the same, what a bitch. My Goat Klein would be like, 1 Vraldor? You know what? Just for that, I'm putting a bullet in your head, okay? Carry more money than this, you broke bitch. My Goat. The landlord of the Auberge de Côte d'Or darted across Avenue de Marche and made a beeline for the theater. Lumion planned to pursue, but stopped. Muswa Ai was now a victim of robbery. Didn't aim for the sanctuary of his home or law enforcement make more sense, but instead he went to the theater? Could it be that he perceived a more effective guard there? Within the span of a heartbeat, Lumion spun around and resumed his full robber's role. He was anxious that Muswa Ai might rally a force capable of reclaiming that coin. He was anxious, given Muswa Ai's infamous miserliness, such a response was within the realm of probability. Getting caught would undoubtedly mask his identity. Exiting Avenue de Marche, he nonchalantly flipped the silver coin to a destitute vagabond. Bog, how's it going, man? Dude, that's so sweet. He gave it to a homeless guy. Good for him. He knows what it's like to be homeless. Good point. At the metallic ring, the man's eyes flickered open, resting at the gleaming piece nestled under the nearby gas lamp. Once again, back on Rue Anarchy, Lumion peeled off the cap and coat, tucking them under his arm, and resumed his leisurely stride. His test had confirmed something. Muswa I was no ordinary man. He possessed some abilities. Albeit seemingly ill-equipped for combat, he elected to gift a silver coin to the burglar in retreat. Could this be lawyer? Could that have been a bribe? Is that possible? No, but then that wouldn't do anything for, like, avarice, would it? This little episode filled me with a sudden, overwhelming desire for that coin, a desire so fierce I nearly abandoned my true intention, nearly succumbing to madness. He realized he had sensed this once before when facing Susanna. One filled him with fear while the other stripped him of thought. The similarities of the abilities. Could Monsieur Ive be linked to Susanna? What fate could the befallen Room 504 tenant, the forest fairy, the foliage, laurels, does the theater have ties to Susanna as well? Okay, let me think. Susanna, who was really pretty, was once a actress at the theater where Muswa I've met her. They started having an affair, but then for whatever reason he killed her. But that doesn't make any sense. Susanna was like was like a super big concubine or some shit, no? I don't know. Okay, no, that theory falls apart. He slipped into the underground bar to find Charlie, glass of beer in hand. We impoverished souls, dwelling in the attic. Catching sight of Lumion, Charlie excused himself and walked over. You wouldn't believe what happened. The manager hotel nicked my drink twice, and then had the gall to say that because of Madame Alice's situation, he couldn't promote me to an official attendant. I'm stuck as a handyman. What the shit? Unlucky. Unlucky, unlucky, Charlie started muttering to himself. After repeating it a few times, he looked up at Lumion with a look of surprise. At the sight of Lumion's subtle smile. Tee-hee, told you were going to get unlucky. Get fucked, loser. Okay. I think we'll end it on 158 today. Kami, I don't want to hear it, okay? As he pondered on Ciel's early morning warning of potential misfortune, Charlie was dumbstruck. The very afternoon he had lost the job prospect he'd been eagerly waiting for and even squandered a few Vril d'Or hosting drinks. The thought of it all intensified. Ciel's smirk hit him. You can predict the future? Didn't I tell you? Just a guess, Lumion said. Yet it wasn't entirely truthful, more like an educated guess based on the luck patterns he had seen. Charlie's expression reflected his disbelief, yet he didn't challenge it. As my bad luck ran out, he asked. Lumion turned to him, his focus shifting. His face mirrored the seriousness of his thoughts. What's going on? Charlie asked. You're in for a disaster, Lumion thought. You gotta watch something after this, or you're gonna stream tonight? What? No, Zaza, I gotta do some stuff, man. I gotta study. I gotta do some stuff. Work's a lot, okay? And I want to get promoted soon. So for that, I gotta do some studying. I gotta do some extra stuff. Lumion chuckled, just pulling your luck. You may not have the best luck for a while, but not particularly bad either. It suggested that even with the issue with Susanna that hadn't been entirely handled, it wouldn't escalate anytime soon. Really? It's a tall tale. I believe it if you wish. No skin off my back if you don't, Lumion remarked. Lumion's nonchalant demeanor helped Charlie breathe easier. I thought the whole situation wasn't done yet, Charlie said. That's not out of the question. Lumion made no effort to unnerve Charlie further. You know, in that moment, I wish to be a lowly handyman and leave the market district ASAP, Charlie said. Dr. Z, how's it going? Thank you, Zaza. So my plan is, obviously not to get ahead of myself or anything, but my plan is I want to get promoted within the next couple of months because I want to buy a car this year. And I promised my dad I would only do that after I get promoted because I want to buy a car, but this bitch expensive as fuck. So yeah. I'm trying my gosh darn hardest. But you know, between work, streaming, going to the gym, and you know everything else, it's like I'm literally running out of hours in the fucking day at this point. So I don't know. Well, we'll be okay. We just gotta find. I have the same fucking 24 hours everyone else has, you know? Just gotta use them. I think part of the reason I'm getting sick more often nowadays is because I'm like cutting back on my sleep more and more because I'm like, I just don't have time. And obviously your immune system suffers greatly as you fuck with your sleep. So. Maybe shouldn't do that. By the way, I dined with our landlord, Muswa Ive, today. He seemed a bit odd when room 504 came up, almost as if he knows something about the previous tenant but isn't sharing. The one who hung that woman's portrait? Charlie asked. Lumion nodded. Does that woman have any ties to Muswa Ive? Does he suspect something off about that portrait? Should I inform the authorities? I can go to the cathedral and talk to the priest. Not bad. A few days under my wing and you're much sharper than Louis from the mob. You caught my hint? Lumion nodded. Lumion wasn't well versed in the details of the theater, hence the severity of the problem was a mystery to him. Any self-led investigation would take at least a couple of weeks to gather any meaningful information. Even then, he might not possess the means to tackle it. As such, his best course of action was to alert the authorities from the get-go. Once he reached a decision, Charlie shot a covert glance to Pavard Neeson, who was engrossed in the art of mixology. Confirming that he had the man's attention, he leaned in and whispered to Lumion, "If they query the source of my information, what should I say?" "Tell them that it cropped up during our chat," Lumion said. With Charlie's previously singing his praises, the police in the La Marche de Quartier de Gentlemen were aware that Auberge de Côte d'Or had fallen under Ciel's jurisdiction. Thus, it was only a matter of time before Ciel and Muswa Ive crossed paths. When the time came, the official Beyonders could make casual inquiries and ascertain all was in order. "All right," Charlie said. "Which of the leaders of the Poison Spur mob do you know?" Charlie had previously alluded to the leaders of the mob, the Savoy mob, the Poison Spur mob, and various smaller gangs having a certain notoriety in La Marche de Quartier de Gentlemen. "What are you scheming?" Charlie asked. "I intend to ask them a question or two." Charlie's enthusiasm dipped a bit, realizing he wouldn't be privy to the spectacle. And besides Margot, I know of two of them. One's Hammer. He was a regular at La Marche de Quartier de Gentlemen, but he's been since frequenting Rue Anarchy of late. Then there's Harmon, sans any nickname. I've observed Margot in his company on multiple occasions, showing him considerable deference. The head honcho of the Poison Spur mob is Black Scorpion Roger. Roger. What? Roger. He appears to reside somewhere on Avenue de Marche. Garnering Margot's respect implies Harmon's status and power within the Poison Spur mob supersedes his. Perhaps Hammer has taken control of Saul the Grease Mill and Rue Anarchy. Lumion set his sights on Hammer. His plan was to shadow the gang leader over the next coming days, familiarize himself with his routines and behaviors, and should he fail to locate Wilson in due course, he would contemplate making an example of Hammer. After emptying his glass, Lumia and Charlie made their way upstairs. Upon reaching his room, Lumia noticed a wooden crate adorned with black-painted emblem of the mob, a bullet and a dirk placed near the entrance. Zaza, I love my favorite season as a whole is autumn, but of the two I will take summers. I fucking, especially in Canada, the winters are so dog shit. There's some level of brightness at like 8 or 9 a.m. and it's dark by 4 p.m. There's just no fucking light. I wake up in darkness. By the time I finish work, it is fucking dark again. My whole fucking day is in darkness. This is so... You don't realize... Listen, I don't care if you're like, oh, I don't go out a lot, I stay in the house, like, you know, I'm a homebody, whatever. Dude, there is just like a fucking basic level of like being able to go downstairs and just see the fucking sun even through a fucking window. Like, your brain feels okay. But like... not seeing the sun for like... Because there'll legitimately be like weeks where you've gone without just seeing the sun. And it starts taking an actual toll on your mental health. This shit is so cooked. As he flipped open the lid, the foul stench of bird droppings wafted in from the dark stone. Accompanied by a pair of eyeballs, bloodshot and haunting, and a poisoned sack. Avenue de Marche was bathed in yellow glow thanks to the gas lamps. Ive, the landlord of the motel, was guiding someone towards a vagrant. "Here lies my silver coin," he pronounced. Funny you say that, because I haven't seen the sun in weeks. Like, it's so... And again, like, I'm mostly a homebody. I don't go out too much, whatever. Like, it's chilling. But like, when I go downstairs or I look out my fucking window, I want to be able to see the sun. I want to be able to like go out and just stand in the sun for a minute and be like a good fucking day and just come inside. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be out there for like fucking an hour or some bullshit because I don't need all that. Fuck that noise. Listen, the sun is a fucking cancer producing ray. Okay, I don't want to be anywhere fucking near that. No problem. But like, I like to be able to look out and be like, what a beautiful day. I look out right now, it is pure fucking darkness. There is nothing. Okay, it's 10 p.m. right now, so it's supposed to be dark. It's fine, but like... everyone's saying like the summers are bad for you because like 45 fucking degrees. I get it, okay? Like the hottest we get here is like... We get to like 30 degrees here, we're like, holy shit, it's cooking! So... Listen, I understand it's not the same for you guys. And obviously I know for you guys when it's winter, it's like a more manageable temp. Like, you know, maybe it's like 10, 15 degrees or whatever, which might be cold for you guys. But like, you still get to see the sun every day, right? Like, you wake up in the morning and the fucking sun is there. It's not here, bro. That bit just skips us for like 5 months of the year. This shit is so cancerous. Like, Kami, you get it. Like, It's so... It goes -10? In Iran? Really? Okay, I stand... I didn't think it would get that fucking cold. What? Do you live, like, near the mountains or something, Dr. Z? Or is that, like, common for all of Iran? I don't have any Tehran on a mountain. Okay. Oh, yeah, she does live... Oh, she does live right by the cap. Oh, I do know this. Thank you, Zala. Yeah. Avenue de Marche, if you live surrounded by a desert, it's cooked too. This is true because the huge temperature variance, so this is true. Yeah. Avenue de Marche was wait, hold on. The person behind him threw a skeptical glance. Did he rob you? Absolutely not, I've replied with firm conviction. Differences in height, physique, and even clothing. A robber that tosses stolen loot? This is... undeniably peculiar, the figure said. We must remain vigilant, prepare for the unforeseen complications. I've simply grunted. Had he not cast my silver coin to this vagrant, we could have traced him. Deserts have cold nights. Oh, I guess that's fair. The following morning, Lumion found himself holed in the motel. He needed to keep an eye on Hammer and his cohorts, which meant altering his steady routine to the morning. These gangsters only made their appearances in the afternoons. Charlie had left at dawn for the closest cathedral. Upon his return, was underscored by a radiant smile. He seemed to have found a source of solace and validation. As the clock approached noon, Lumion stowed his grimoire and ambled to the Avenue de Marche. He positioned himself a short distance from Monsieur Ives' apartment and the theater, hoping to witness any activity from official beyonders. Only the coasts have regulated temps? Makes sense. Yep. Coasts are very humid, though. Fair. The streets were bustling as usual, the shops brimming with activity and the carriages weaving in and out, yet none bore any hints of recent events. After observing for a time, Lumion was about to seek out a restaurant to satiate his hunger when he spotted Monsieur Ives. Still clad in his faded formal suit and chestnut tweed trousers, donning a grey wide-brimmed hat and grasping a black cane, he made his way towards his apartment. The official Beyonders haven't made their moves yet? Good afternoon, Monsieur Ives. Out on an errand, he greeted, all smiles. Monsieur Ives looked slightly disoriented before looking at Lumion. I have something to attend to at the police station. The official Beyonders roped in Monsieur Ives through the police station, but delegated the interrogation to someone with the abilities. Lumion surmised the situation, albeit as a query. The officials didn't uncover that Monsieur Ives also has powers? Lumion responded with a nod. Is there something I can help with? No need, Monsieur Ives said. I need to go home, he gestured to his apartment. In an effort not to arouse suspicion, Lumion made no further attempts to detain or probe him. As Monsieur Ives walked away, Lumion was left behind. Looking back at their brief exchange, nothing seemed of it, yet certain details felt out of place, leaving him with a peculiar sensation. On impulse, Lumion shifted his gaze to the retreating figure, attempting to gauge his recent streak of luck. It seemed pretty ordinary, nothing fortunate or adverse. Nonetheless, Lumion found his suspicion intensifying. During their previous dinner, Lumion had instinctively assessed Monsieur Ives' luck. It leaned towards the unfortunate end of the spectrum. And now, in the span of a day, his luck has turned for the better. What happened? Lost in thought, Lumion sauntered onto Avenue de Marche, his hands nonchalantly tucked into his pockets. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end stream there. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day or nights, and I'll catch y'all back here tomorrow. Bye.